Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to take that same claim and we're going to go to checking out what needs to be in those particular rooms. By the way, when you were looking at the information for when you're typing in the personal information, one of the things you should have looked at was uh, the difference between the address as far as the mailing address and the address for the location. That could be different, so you want to make sure you check on that. If the address for the location is different, it could be a rental property, something along those lines. You always want to make sure you have that properly put in there, just like you would on your document. Now let's go to living room and let's hit scope. There we go. Let's bring that up a little bit. Now, let's go over these different sections, give you a quick understanding. You have general conditions, which are clean out, water, demolition, that kind of stuff. You have foundation items. You have floors. Okay, floor framing, floor finishes. You have wall items. You have moldings and you have ceilings, interior doors, exterior doors, windows, glass, cabinets and tops, plumbing. You have electrical items, mechanical, exterior, roof, framing items, miscellaneous, which is, elevators, fireplaces, and oddball things like that. And then you have other structures, which will, here you can see here we've got sheds and wooden decks and porches and gazebos and pools. We have hourly labor, according to depending on who they are, if you need to put extra hours in, and we'll talk about that later. You have average costs for things. We have protection, leveling, and contractors costs as well. Now, let's go back up here and let's go to walls. Now, in walls, because this is a room, we're not worried about framing right now. We're not worried about insulation. We had a small amount of damage, but we had a little sheetrock. So we would click on sheetrock, and then we come over here, and we can then down arrow it down to go into more depth. And this was residential, and we want to go into more depth. And we had half-inch standard drywall. Okay, and we would say that now over here we want to have more detail, so we want to come up here, click this, and we want to see scope. Okay, this will tell us all the details as far as what we're going to be doing. And so let's say we're talking about the half-inch drywall. We're going to what? Remove, and in this particular case we are removing, give it a second here. Okay, something just happened. We just popped out of that. There it is. It just popped over. We are removing, okay, not that much square footage. Remember, one of the things it's going to do, it's going to try to fool you in thinking that it's removing all the drywall, because that's what you told it. You told it all the dimensions, so therefore it's going to try to take all the drywall out. Well, we only have, let's say we had somewhat damage. We actually had about a full sheet, so we had, say, 48 square feet. Okay, and we are putting that in 48 square feet. And if you want to put anything else in here, that's for that. Now, That's good for that. So now we put in 48 square feet. We can also add other different things in here. We wanted to change some of this wording in here, but we don't right now. So let's go to, we moved that much, and we want to replace the same amount, 48 square feet, and want to there it goes. Has a tendency to want to flip back and forth. And we want to go back one because we're going to tape and finish. And that would be just a, you probably could actually put in here for a minimum charge on this one. And I would put in here again, that would go, minimum charge of $59 for that. And then we want to go back, because now we want to take those walls and we want to paint. So we're going to paint those walls. Now we're going to be painting that whole room. So we're going to, of course, we're going to sand the walls. We're going to prep the walls. Let's just prep the walls. And we're going to paint 2 coats. Now we're going to seal. Let's just say we're going to paint 2 coats. Okay. Now, got that. Now let's go to the ceiling, because we had damage on the ceiling as well. Well, we may not have had the damage on the ceiling. We probably had damage on the walls, but we got the walls and the ceiling because we had continuous paint from walls and ceiling. So let's go paint ceiling. And it's not on.